Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. This is the first podcast episode I've recorded in my new house. So a lot has changed. Yeah, I'm in a new house, new place, new friends, new school, new bay pool. Okay, that's from She's the Man. Anyways, I am in, like literally right now, I'm in my office. It's a shared office with my husband. He is actually here. Headphones in. Don't think he can hear me. But he's playing a game he got for Christmas. I've got my Notre Dame Lego set next to me that I've been working on here and there. It is such a fun time. I hope you had good holidays, and I'm excited to be podcasting again. So, besides the fact that I moved, I also have a big update that I was gonna today I was like, oh, let me hop on my stories and share this backstory on something I posted about yesterday, and I was just like, okay, there's a lot to this, which made me decide I'm just gonna record a podcast episode because yeah, I can get all the nitty-gritty details in here for you so that you can be all caught up on what I've been up to. So the last few months I wrote my first book. Woohoo! It's just so crazy. So yeah, I made a post yesterday about how it was kind of the beginning of November where I think it was in the beginning of November, maybe October, but around then is when I decided that I wanted to write my first book by the end of the year, which is kind of crazy. But there's a lot of cool things that have kind of led to it being done. I know it sounds kind of wow, that's amazing. She wrote a book in 2 months or whatever, but actually, I've been working hard on this, maybe not necessarily writing the book, but honestly, yes, I've been working hard on the contents in the book, sure, but just getting to the point where I can write this thing for a long time. So I'm going to walk you through all of that and yeah, just give you a little update about how that's been going, where it's at, and how you can get your hands on it if you want it. But yeah, okay, real quick, if you don't know me, I'm Krista, and I love to journal, and I really love to bullet journal. But just I think journaling in general is just kind of my thing. Truly, it is my thing. And so I decided, um, let's see. Sorry, give me one sec. I'm gonna pull up my phone and check a post or something. Because another thing I believe is that social media is a form, and your phone, both things actually, is a form of journaling. And I love social media because you can just go back and look at the dates and see what you're up to. So there's just one thing that I want to pull up because I feel like it will be really cool to see this. Oh, okay, here it is. September 12th, I said working on something new and posted the words all about journaling. So I remember where I was. I was in the family room. I'm pretty sure my kids were all around, either playing or watching something or something. And I had my journals with me. I found a Halloween marker. It was orange. I'm not really an orange girl, but an orange marker by my journal. Don't know where my markers were. It was one of my kids' markers. And I just started doodling slash writing out the words all about journaling. And I think that's when the idea for my book first came to me. So I think what I just said, it was September 12th. I could be wrong. Beginning of September. All about journaling. And I was just okay, this is coming. This is a new thing. I wasn't sure if it was going to be I don't know, a class or something, which we'll get to, or a digital product or a book. But I was just that's the idea, all about journaling, which is actually kind of significant because, I mean, I started this business a couple years ago, right? It was the end of 2023. Wow, we're in 2026, guys. So that's 3 years ago, although I still feel like it was about 2 years ago. But yeah, 2.5 years ago. I started my business, and how I started my business, the first thing I sold, well, the first thing I sold was a digital bullet journal, but the first thing I felt really cool and excited about that I sold was a pre-made bullet journal. It was a 2024 bullet journal. And so that was the first thing I made. or that's the first thing I sold. And so here we are, 2.5 years later, and I truly think that like this is what I'm meant to be, I guess, selling and what I'm meant to be like focusing on in my business because of course, like people bought the bullet journal and like people, yeah, that first year and even last year I sold some bullet journals, but I've shifted how I do my business a little bit and like I don't personally sell. Anyways, I'll talk about that later. But like, I think what the point of this is that when I was selling this bullet journal, it wasn't necessarily the journal that I was selling, but like people wanted to like understand what it was. And so like that's what I needed to be doing. This is what I need to be doing is like explaining what journaling is, what bullet journaling is. So I'm calling it all about journaling, but I've already written basically the book. I mean, I need to like edit it and format it. So that's the phase that it's currently at. But I've written it and it's truly just like Krista's thoughts all about journaling, my method of journaling, my method of bullet journaling. So if you're like, what is she doing over there? Like this book is supposed to help you understand what I'm doing. So I'm feeling really proud about it. And like it's not, I don't know, like I guess it really has taken me, I guess, 2.5 years to really like full on just be like, this is what I should be doing. Like not, I don't know, be hiding from where my, I guess, genius is. Like, why am I not just talking about journaling? That's like what I'm passionate about. So like here I am. That just feels good that I'm like owning like what I can share with the world. But at the same time, like I'm not necessarily proclaiming to be some like master genius at journaling. I just think it's something that I do. I do it consistently. I do it a lot. And anytime someone does something consistently or a lot, they're gonna get better at it. They're gonna become, I guess you could say a master at it. But like all I'm saying is it feels very natural to me to be writing about journaling, to be talking about journaling, like, and I'm actually like just doing the things that are easy for me rather than like trying to be somebody that I'm not, which feels cool to say, cool to do. So well, I just wanted to like walk through a little bit of like the timeline of things because it's just like kind of miraculous and cool how it's all worked out. But so yeah, September. I had I doodled all about journaling, had this idea and was like, what are we doing here? And I think at the time I did feel like it was going to be a book. Like I kind of knew it was supposed to be a book. But again, sorry, like the perfectionist in me. I've never written a book before. In fact, let's talk about that for a sec. But yeah, let's talk about like me being a writer because that's part of it too. Is like I feel like at the beginning of 2025, I didn't look this one up and I'm not going to look it up, but I posted on Threads that I was like, I'm a writer. And I was like, woohoo, I'm a writer. Like it feels so good to say. And it does feel good to like admit to things that you're like good at, I guess, or like that you want to be. So like I was like, yeah, I'm a writer. And I kind of felt like, okay, some miraculous like change is gonna happen because I've like identified as a writer and I like feel like a writer. And obviously like I'm a writer, duh, like I journal all the time. Like it shouldn't surprise me that much, but it kind of like shocked me to like own the fact that like I'm a writer. But now that I think about it, even when I was like posting like I'm a writer, I don't think I was really like working on anything or like writing anything besides just like my everyday journaling, which I feel like is different than like writing things. But yeah, so beginning of the year, I kind of like was like, I'm a writer, and I feel like this was like a big deal because I was like accepting that about myself or like owning that about myself, but then didn't really do much with it. And I feel like that's kind of just like maybe sometimes the perfectionist in us where we just like, I don't know, there's just something about being human where sometimes it's just hard to like be who you think you're supposed to be. I don't know, there's this story. This is really random, but there's this story in a Stephen King book. Me and my brother loves Stephen King. He always gives me Stephen King books. There's a short story in a book called, I think the book is called You Like It Darker. It's the first short story. It's just so random, but it's about these two guys who like, one's an artist and one's a writer, and they both go in the woods and like they do this like yearly trip or something. And like one year something happened in the woods and they came home from that trip and like both of their art or whatever just like took off. The artist became a famous artist and the writer became a famous writer. And then it like explained in the story what happened. They like ended up saving these aliens or something kind of random. But like the aliens, because they like saved the alien gifted them, they like sprayed them with this mist, and the gift that came from that mist was just like they were able to actually like go for their art or go for their dreams kind of thing. I don't know, it was really inspiring. The aliens were just like, you humans, like you never actually do it. You never actually go for it. That's what I got from the story. Anyway, so sometimes I feel like it can be like that as humans, where we have all these grand ideas and then we just like don't actually do them. So the reason I bring that up is because, yeah, I said I was a writer, didn't really do it. And then the other thing that I'm thinking of, and with like the fact that, like I said, I was a writer, is like when I, let's see, when was this? Probably long time ago, maybe like 2019, 2018, maybe. Um, when I was a high school math teacher, if you didn't know this, I used to be a high school math teacher before I had kids. Now I have three kids, a 4 year old, a 2 year old, a 1 year old. Anyways, so back when I was a high school math teacher, I was setting up my classroom and I was like doodling, of course, not doodling, but like writing out posters for my classroom. And I wrote out the quote, if your dreams don't scare you, then they aren't big enough. Woohoo, so inspiring. I do love that quote. But like I took that like dirt poster board creating session to heart and like listed out a few dreams. I listed out three dreams. One of my dreams was to be on Survivor. One of them was to write a book, and the other one was to speak Spanish. Haven't really done the other two, but I don't know, the writing a book one, like that felt like a dream of mine, like a lofty, faraway thing. And so I've had this, I don't know, idea slash dream for a while. And then like you can even go back further to like college and high school, and like I don't know, I just did. I liked writing. I obviously was like a high school math teacher. I think I would have been a great English teacher too, but like I was just really good at math. And so I just like went into teaching math. But yeah, I've always loved writing, and of course I've always loved journaling. So all these like ingredients make me a writer. But I don't think like that's like the only thing I like to do. I'm like in general like a crafty, maybe not crafty, but like just like a person who loves to like create um specific things that I like to do for creating, which I'll be talking about the rest of this year and stuff. But anyways, I do feel like I'm a writer. So there's that. And then we get to, I had this idea in September, like all about journaling. And so I feel like after I was like ruminating, mulling over the idea for a little bit, I was like, okay, this is a book. Like I could tell this was going to be a book. And because I'm a perfectionist, because I'm human, whatever you want to call it, I just like almost like avoided actually starting to write it. In my head, I'm someone who likes to, I don't like see the big picture first. So I just like wasn't quite sure like the outline of the book is kind of what I kept calling it or kept wanting to have before I started this book is like what even was all about journaling, like what even was going to be included in it. And I was having a hard time like sitting down and like brainstorming even that. I mean, I had done it a few times. I'm pretty sure I like after I wrote all about journaling, I kind of like brain dumped some stuff and was like, oh, this is kind of the outline of the book. But I feel like I did that a few times. Like I would go to my bullet journal and be like, okay, all about journaling. Here's a chapter, here's a chapter, here's some ideas. And like bullet point, messy little notes things. So I did that maybe like two or three times where I was trying to kind of like form this, I guess, perfect outline of the book. Um, and so I decided, actually, I think after like maybe the second or third time I did that, I was like, you know what I'm good at? I'm good at rambling. No, I'm just kidding. But like, I'm good at podcasting. I remember thinking about podcasting and thinking about teaching. When I just like sit down to podcast, like the ideas just come pretty naturally to me. And so like today, I like sort of had an idea of what I wanted to say, but like, I'm just like going. And like, I'm also someone who likes to go back and listen to my own podcast. And maybe that's weird, but that's just because I truly think that my podcast is a journal for myself. It's always good to like reread your journals. Not that I do it very often, but like it's always good to just like listen to yourself speak because we get a lot of people's voices given to us through other podcasts, through any sort of media. We get a lot of other people's voices in our heads, but like it's really good to hear your own voice. So if you don't have a podcast, what are you doing? I'm just kidding. But that's just something I like to do in my podcast is I like to like re-listen to it and just like hear what I say when I'm like podcasting, I guess you'd say, journaling, I guess you'd say. And so I was like, okay, I'm good at that. Like if I'm podcasting, like that will kind of like get my ideas flowing. I almost in my head was thinking about maybe just like sitting down to like podcast and then like transcribing that, and that could be my book, something like that. So I had that idea, but then the other idea I had was I love teaching. I do love teaching. I have a YouTube channel and like it feels fun to me because it feels like teaching. And so I decided in my head, I was like, you know what? Like I bet you if I set up a class, people would hopefully join, and then I would be accountable to these people to teach them all I know about journaling, all about journaling. And that would also simultaneously like force me to like write my book because I would be like almost writing the book in preparation for these classes. So again, this is just like my brain like thinking and like figuring out a way to like get myself to write this book. It's like if you want to do something you've never done before, you have to like do things differently. And so this was like the different way I was going to do it. Like I'm a pretty self-motivated person, but I just knew like if I wanted to actually write this book, I needed some sort of like accountability outside myself to like do it. So I started like hyping up that I probably talked about my all about journaling classes that I ended up teaching. It's done already, 4 classes. But I like did a free class first, and then I just started like talking about the other classes for probably a few weeks before the classes actually started. And let's see, I had like there was like a handful of people there, like maybe like 5-ish students in my class, but it was perfect. It was literally so perfect because yeah, then I was like focus on them and like I don't know, I just remember like once I like, okay, I'm teaching this class now. I actually got down to like I sectioned off like the 4 lessons of the class, and those are kind of going to be like the 4 sections of my book. Which obviously like didn't work out perfectly. Like everything I taught in the class is not necessarily everything that's in the book, and vice versa. But anyways, it just like it worked. I don't know. I just knew myself well enough to know that that was going to work. And that's what I'm saying. Like, yes, I wrote it in 2 months, but like that also takes into the fact that like I had been working on teaching classes before. I'd done quite a few live free classes before. I can't remember if I'd ever done like a paid class. I think I'd done a few paid classes before, but none like this. So, anyways, I had done a few live free classes. I had done podcasting before. Like, I knew all these things about myself, and I just like set myself up for success to be able to do this. And so, the just like the funny things, the few funny things that I'll also mention is that I posted, let's see, what was the first thing I posted? I did a few little like vloggy things on TikTok and Instagram where it was just like spend a morning with me as someone writing her first book. I think that was like the first. No, I did when I was planning for my All About Journaling class. Okay, yeah, this is the first part. Okay, I'm backing up. I'm remembering now. Here's like the fun ways that social media and like journaling through content creation slash social media helped me kind of like get the ball rolling too. Is when I first started talking about my class all about journaling, I started with saying like, guys, I'm writing a book. Then I was like, if you want to like come along for it, join my class. And then there is someone who is really important in this story, and that is my grandpa. He is a motivator for me for journaling. He and I love to journal. Um, he's just like an amazing, spiritual, wonderful man, anyways. But he watches my stories. I think it's through Facebook, but anyways, he like watches what I'm up to. And I remember I like posted that one. I think it was like one of the ones from my stories. And one of the times I saw him, he was just like, you're writing a book. I feel like he's like maybe the only person that was like, you're writing a book. Like, that's amazing, which is awesome. Like, that's what grandpas do. They know what you're up to. And he said, Krista, if you're writing a book, like he was just like, that's awesome. And he was just like, you just need to write. Like, because he has actually written a book. He has given me a book, and it's amazing. Actually, I haven't finished it. I need to finish it. But he wrote a book for all of his children and grandchildren, great grandchildren, not his great grandchildren, just his children and grandchildren. And so he's written a book. He's a writer. He actually has multiple books. Anyways, I remember he pulled me aside and he said, you just need to write. And like we talked a little bit more. And then again, he was just like, you just need to write. And I remember leaving that being like, yeah, what the heck? Like, I haven't even started writing. Like, what am I doing? I keep saying I'm going to write a book and I haven't started writing. So he inspired me to actually start like writing the book. And so after that, I like included writing in what I call my cozy journaling routine. And so like currently, actually I feel like my journaling spot is changing a little bit, but like over the last few months when I've been writing this book, my journaling routine has been to wake up, feed myself, feed my kids breakfast, and like kind of while they're eating, I'll just like do my cozy journaling routine, which is reading my scriptures. I read them in French, journaling in my bullet journal slash journal slash morning pages, and then I will after that write a paragraph or a few in my book. Wow. So yeah, he like encouraged me to actually like get in the habit of writing. And for a while, I would say for the first like few weeks when I was writing it, I would try to like write 2 times a day. And so that was another cool thing is I just like had this random this is actually like I call it the Krista Quirky Vault. I had printed a vault. It's a digital product that you can buy on my website, but I had printed one so that I could share it with clients if people wanted to make a custom bullet journal with me. And I left a bunch of like dot grid pages at the end, and I figured, oh, that would just be for like when I'm drawing out planners for people. I'll just like draw the layouts here. But it ended up like when I was like, I need a book to like, or I need a journal to like write my start writing my book. I ended up using this, which is really cool. And so I would just like write a paragraph or two. So a lot of times when I was writing, especially at the beginning, I would kind of write stuff out and like I thought it would be like maybe a chapter or section in my book, but it was also like, to prepare for the class, like the certain topics that I had prepared for my classes. But yeah, that was just like really, really cool to like go through and do that. And then I feel like a week or two later, yeah, I posted a few vlogs on my TikTok slash Instagram. I was like, I'm writing my first book by the end of the year. And I remember the first time I posted that, I was just like, what am I doing? Like, yeah. There's no way I'm finishing this. Hey, I need just to go finish something for me. Okay. Can you go? I'll be almost done. I'm almost done, okay? Sorry, babe. Mm. Okay, sorry, that was my daughter. Been watching Tarzan. She's so cute. She just used the bathroom. Okay, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I was just like embarrassed. I was just like, there's no way. And I did, oh yeah, and then I did like an update. I was like, update on my writing a book. I feel like this is like a week or two after. I had kind of posted about I'm gonna finish my book by the end of the year, and I was like, guys, I don't think I'm gonna finish. I think I'll just like have maybe the general outline done because I don't know. I just got nervous, but yeah. So, anyways, here we are. Then I don't know. I just like got into the flow. I think it was after the third class ended where I was kind of like taking what I had taught in the class and like thinking about my book. And anyways, I was just able to be like, okay, like locked in. And actually at that point, oh, another key thing is for me to get me started, I actually physically was writing the book, like I said, in the journal. And anytime I tried to write it, like type it out and stuff, it just like wasn't really working. So maybe that's just like good for me to know for like if I'm ever going to write another book, which I think I would want to just like start in a journal. And then once the ideas are there, or once, I don't know, the flow is flowing, to go to the computer then. So that's when, like, I think it's after the third class where I like actually pulled up a Google Doc. It's just on a Google Doc for me right now. And I started typing and it felt like it was like right, if that makes sense. I don't know. It's just like such a fun process to like think back on all the things that have worked together to like make it work. And honestly, guys, like when I say I'm writing like a paragraph a day, I'm writing a paragraph a day. I'm literally like it's so fun because I don't feel like I'm doing anything that crazy. I don't feel like I was ever like, Spencer, like, I have to like stay up all night and write this book. Like, I was never even in a rush like that. It was usually like I said, after my kids were playing and I was like at the kitchen table writing stuff. Or like, I remember, oh, I did do another hack that I did was I would go to the gym and I would post on social media. And I remember a few times, I think it was only one time, but like, after I had opened up my Google Doc where like the book actually was, I think a couple times at the gym, I wrote some stuff. Like I was just typing on my phone because I could, if it's on a Google Doc, I just type it on my phone. So yeah, once it was on a Google Doc and like I knew where it was headed, like what I needed to write about, I just started like doing it on my phone kind of a lot. So like maybe when my kids were playing and I was just chilling, I just remember kind of doing it here and there throughout the day. So that's kind of cool. Like I don't remember ever being like rushed through it or anxious about it. It just like happened. And it just feels so cool and miraculous to like look back and be like, I said I was going to do that. And even when I was like, I don't know if I'm going to do that, it still just like happened. So, okay, but I'm getting ahead of myself because it is not done. But some people have ordered it, which again, that's for me what's working because I feel like if no one ordered it, I'd just be like editing and mulling over it forever. But like, there's a way to buy it. I think I can link it. I'll link it below. I'm doing like a first round of, I guess, buying, you could call it, where it's like we're kind of like starting a little community together of like you will get sent the book and then we'll kind of like almost like book club, like read it slash discuss it together and have a little cozy journaling hour together a couple times a month. And so that's if you want the book like right now, that's the way you can access it because I'm calling this maybe like my soft launch. Like I like want anyone and everyone to have this book, but I'm just like focusing on getting it myself and like feeling like, the covers where I want it, everything. I'm gonna like get it with this first round of people who are getting it. And then I think I'm gonna do like, I don't know, a hard lunch a little bit later where you can potentially like just buy the book or something. Anyways, it's still in the works. Just like a beautiful process of this book unfolding and like who it's helping and meant to serve. I still am not sure yet, but I know two people have bought it. So two people want to read all about journaling from me, and that feels really exciting. But I feel like it's going to help a lot of people, and I hope it helps a lot of people. So if that's you and you want like first access to it, check out the link below. And yeah, I think I'll just leave it at that. I'm really excited for this project that I think I'm going to be working on a lot this year. And I know that this, if anything, has just like helped me. It's just been a fun creative process for me, a fun work of art that I've been able to produce. And I hope that you enjoy it. And if not, enjoy this podcast, enjoy the other like social media, all the free things that I share with you guys. So just stay tuned. There's going to be a lot of ways to access it. And the book's not going anywhere. It's happening. So I need to get to editing it. I need to format it. I need to send it up to my publisher. And wow, that sounds so legit when I say it like that. But like, that's just what I'm up to. So go ahead and subscribe or add this show to your favorites of this podcast and stick around for the next one. But thanks so much for listening. We'll see you next time, guys.